It has happened again. Alleged cruelty caught on tape. The video you're about to see is disturbing. I call it disgusting. How many times does this have to happen? On this show, we cover animal cruelty captured by hidden cameras sent out by animal welfare groups every few weeks. Tonight, alleged abuse caught on hidden camera. The horrific video you are about to see is extremely disturbing, but nowhere near the worst of it. It's crucial to bear witness. You, the consumer, need to know what is going on, so please watch. The animal rights group Mercy for Animals says they secretly recorded this video of dairy cows being kicked, punched, dragged with chains around their neck by a tractor, and brutally beaten at Betancourt Dairies, reportedly the largest dairy factory farm in Idaho, a farm they say supplies to Kraft and Burger King, among other big name brands. Straight out to Nathan Runkle, executive director at Mercy for Animals. Nathan, your organization says this video proves workers deliberately inflicted pain on these defenseless animals. Tell us what you say you uncovered, Nathan.
Our hidden cameras documented a complete culture of cruelty at this factory farm. Workers violently beating animals with canes, shocking them with electric prods, attaching chains around their necks and dragging them with tractors. There's a complete culture of cruelty, neglect, and abuse that these animals are subjected to. And as a result, 3 people have been criminally charged with cruelty to animals, including a manager at the facility, showing how rampant this abuse was.
We reached out to Burger King and Kraft, did not hear back. Kraft has said they do not supply directly from this Idaho dairy farm, adding their dairy suppliers must meet or exceed animal care guidelines. The Kansas City Star reports Burger King defended the company's commitment to animal rights and promised swift action. Now, the Betancourt Dairy Farm tells us they have a zero tolerance of abuse to the animals. They showed all employees the video, made them aware they'd be terminated immediately if they were caught abusing cows. Those who do see the abuse and do not report it will also be terminated. They say they placed cameras in the facility to monitor and will continue to do background checks, and that they've had a do not hire list in place. By the way, go to hlntv.com/Jane for the complete statement of the dairy involved and links to Mercy for Animals. Nathan, in one report, the owner says he was appalled to learn about this. What's your reaction?
Well, these actions are too little, too late. The reality is that a culture of cruelty was allowed to flourish under the watch of this company owner. And these cows live lives filled with misery. From the day that they're born, they're treated as little more than milk-producing machines. Their lives are filled with misery and deprivation. They're kept in crowded, filthy conditions. They're subjected to painful mutilations. These animals have their tails cut off without any painkillers. And then they live lives where they're beaten, dragged, shocked, and kicked by workers. This is appalling, and unfortunately, this runs rampant through the dairy industry. We found it time and time again.
It's so difficult to watch this, and this is what we can show you. This is not the worst of it, but it's gut-wrenching. Now, essentially, when the people who own the farm say that they're appalled, do you have a question as to how they could miss this?
Well, I think that they're appalled that they were caught in the act of abusing these animals. We believe that this is ongoing abuse, that this is a top-down management problem. This abuse took place in front of other employees. Everyone that we saw there was involved in this, and much of this cruelty is built into this system. These cows live their lives on concrete floors. They never see pasture. They are treated as if their feelings don't matter, and we think that's wrong. This is a 4th dairy industry investigation that we've done, and every single one has exposed shocking abuse, and every single one has led to criminal animal cruelty charges being filed against workers there.
This is a cow who is still alive, being dragged by its neck but on a chain by a tractor.
Yeah,
More on the other side. More on the other side. It's disturbing to watch, but please take a moment. Have the courage to look at this and not turn away, because this is ultimately a consumer issue. This is an undercover investigation by Mercy for Animals at the Betancourt Dairy, reportedly the largest dairy factory farm in Idaho. And, you know, this undercover investigation has led 3 workers to be charged with animal cruelty. The prosecutor's office tells us this carries a maximum of 6 months in jail. Critics say this is why the ag-gag law in another state, Iowa, is a bad idea. It's a danger to farm animals because, well, would you be able to go in today and do a similar investigation at a facility in Iowa, given that they've passed this so-called ag-gag law, Nathan?
No, and that's the intention of these ag-gag bills, is to prevent animal organizations from exposing abuse. And we feel that that goes against what's in the best interest of consumers who have a right to know how their food is being produced, and against the best interest of these animals who are being abused behind the closed doors of these factory farms. There's not a single federal law that provides protection to animals during their miserable lives on these factory farms. So there's very little, if any, oversight. And that's why animal protection organizations doing investigations are so crucial to bringing this abuse to light and to an end.
Well, we invite the Betancourt Dairy, their representatives, on any time to discuss this footage. Listen, I feel it's my obligation as a journalist to cover these stories because that's what journalists are supposed to do, to investigate alleged problems with the voiceless and the helpless. And nobody could be more voiceless or helpless than these creatures. And if we journalists don't do our moral obligation to investigate this and show this, nobody will. Thank you, Nathan Runkle from Mercy for Animals.